All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DLC Cafe, the gaming talk show where we encourage you to sit down with your favorite hot beverage as we discuss the latest gaming news before we end off with something fun and sweet. As always, I'm your host, Ethan, also known as GameWiz, and as always, I am joined by these two astute gentlemen. We have Eric, also known as King Levchuk.
What's good, boys? What's good?
And Hunter, also known as Bean Credit.
Howdy.
Howdy, gentlemen.
so
How we all
frame
doing?
a bit
How we all doing?
Pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna adjust my camera here. I know mid podcast. I just feel like I need to get myself in frame a bit better here.
Yeah, it's been a good day. The weather wasn't too bad today. Still cold. But
It was a lot colder today.
Yeah.
Yesterday was nice. I could wear a sweater.
Yesterday was rainy though.
It was rainy.
Yeah.
It was kind of gross.
Yeah.
Temperature-wise, great.
True.
Weather-wise, disgusting, gross. I hated it.
Yeah. Well, as we all know, gentlemen, we have to talk about what we're drinking to start off, right?
True.
Ooh,
So
of course.
today I got something a little different here. I got some
Ooh, spice
white-
it up.
I got some white pomegranate tea. It's called.
Whoa.
Interesting.
All right.
That sounds
classy.
interesting.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I've never tried this before, but
Trying to
let's
show us up. Well, you're gonna try it now. Here we
let's
go.
see. Oh, I'm
Live
gonna
reaction,
I'm gonna
folks.
burn my mouth.
Live reaction, burnt mouth podcast.
It's not bad,
Not bad.
I can feel like my entire mouth now, from it being burnt. But it's not
Nice.
bad. Yeah,
But other than that, it's great.
yeah, that's great.
Dope.
I'm not gonna drink it right now because I know I'll burn my tongue. I'm pretty sensitive to heat. I got this peach tea. I switched from the blueberry to the peach.
Oh,
Wow. And
So,
I switched from the apple cider to the blueberry. Actually,
Oh,
Blueberry
okay.
tea.
Nice.
So good.
Blueberry tea is
Mhm.
so good.
So good.
Yeah.
I wish I could
yeah.
buy it in the big packs of 20, but I can only get it at least from the grocery store in like the assorted fruit pack. Just like I just want the
Oh.
blue tea. That's all I want.
Isn't
I
there,
just want the
isn't there
blueberry.
just like we just get the blueberry? What is it? Ginseng.
Oh, okay. So that
Mm.
sounds
Something like
interesting.
that. It's like a 40 pack or something.
Dang.
Yeah,
No, I just got
it's
like
really
the
good.
assorted, whatever the one with the bear is. I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Mhm.
I can't,
I don't know,
can't
but-
remember.
I'll
But
check
blueberry
later.
tea is just so good. Actually,
I'll come
blueberry
back.
flavored things in general, in my opinion, are
Blueberry
just
is
like
just
really
a good
good.
flavor.
But I
Yeah.
don't like blueberries.
Oh, I love blueberries.
weird.
Blueberry
I love
pancakes.
blueberries. Blueberry
Okay, blueberry pancakes is different.
Yeah,
We'll allow that.
a
Like
little bit of maple
wild-
syrup on that.
I'm not
Ooh.
just like,
Ooh.
but I'm not just gonna like reach into the fridge and like grab blueberries and like,
Oh, no.
that's my snack. For
When
today,
you
know
that's
what I
that's
mean?
fair.
Nah, when you get those like fresh Ontario blueberries, those like little tiny ones that are just like packed with
Dude,
flavor.
my
Ooh.
problem with them is you have
Mm.
like 5 that are like stiff and like kind of good, and then you have one where it's just like mush. And it's like this is
Oh,
disgusting.
yeah.
This is gross.
Mhm.
So
I mean, if,
I'll
if you,
stick to tea
I'll
and
stick to tea.
pancakes every once in a while. We'll do
Yeah.
that.
I mean, if you're ever going camping, and you find a wild blueberry bush. As long as you know it's blueberries, but you find that wild blueberry bush, you're just like, man, you're munching.
eat-
It
let's
wasn't
eat the
actually a
mystery
blueberry
berries.
bush. It wasn't actually a blueberry.
Wasn't
bush,
actually a
and
blueberry
Eric
bush.
This whole time is like, damn, I love blueberries.
Yeah, yeah.
Ever since that one time I found it on the trail. Meanwhile, it was
No,
I'm,
it's
se-
not
I'm seeing
funny.
funny colors now.
Yeah. Oh,
You
shit.
funny color.
Oh, okay, gentlemen. I have a question for you boys.
Okay.
This may make or break our friendship. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
oh boy,
Oh.
the heat's turning
No,
on.
Yeah,
the-
these are the type of questions I like. This is it.
So one of the ultimate questions you can ask: when you put a new roll of toilet paper on,
Oh,
do you put it on over, or do you put it on under?
here's the real fact. I don't care. It's whatever way
No.
I've oriented it.
All right, we're kicking him off the podcast.
Oh, this guy's
Right-
definitely an under guy for sure.
Actually,
then.
right now it's over because just the way our like toilet thing works in residence. It's an over right now, just because it's easier to take off with the way it's positioned.
Yeah, like dude, I don't know. Under is just it's wrong. I don't know. Like I can't tell you why. It's just wrong to me.
I think I
That's
went
true.
through a phase where it was like, it was under all the time,
Mm.
and now for some reason I switched to over like a couple years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just came off. I think my roommate changed it and he put it under. So I just switched it. We just put on a new rule and we put it over, and it's a lot better for sure.
Yeah,
Balance
yeah.
is restored.
It's easier. It's easier to break off pieces.
Mhm.
Mm,
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. Like I don't know, I don't know. I will full on admit I'm the type of dude. If I come into your house and the toilet paper is on under, I will switch it to over.
I will switch it.
I will switch it. I will full on admit I'm that dude.
If your toilet paper is not folded at the ends, then like we're gonna have some issues.
Hey, look, listen. If you go and look up the patent for when toilet paper first came out, this is not even a joke. It's supposed to go over, not under.
Wild.
So
All
over
right,
is the
let
correct
me
answer.
find-
I'm telling you, look it up.
Sometimes do be the answer.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
Right. That's,
Yep.
that's wild.
In
Mhm.
1891,
Yep.
patent for toilet paper roll literally states that the end of the roll should be hanging off the exterior. In other words, in the over position. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. All right. Well, I guess our friendship can be maintained for now.
We're all in
Anyway.
agreement here.
We're all in
This is why we're
agreement
friends.
here.
This is why we're
Yeah.
This is why this podcast works.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
This is why
Oh.
we have this podcast. This is why we're still allowed to live. You know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we actually, to start off, have a follow-up to something we talked about last week. The
No way.
Capcom countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
So,
Street Fighter.
countdowns end
new
at some
Street
point, yeah.
Fighter. Yeah. So we got a double announcement of the new Capcom Fighting Collection coming out and Street Fighter 6. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
you
we're
know,
getting into this image
no.
already.
We're gonna talk about this first? Oh my god. Okay.
Let's come back. Let's come back to this.
Yeah, yeah.
Street Fighter 6. I did say it was a possibility last week.
You did.
Okay,
you
but that
definitely did.
font and the whole vibe was
Mhm.
screaming.
It was
screaming
Oh,
something
absolutely.
else. It
Yeah.
that was not it. That was not it.
Mm-hmm.
It was Resident Evil all the way.
Yeah. So they dropped a 36-minute or it's not 36 minute, oh my goodness, a 36-second teaser trailer for Street
Yeah.
Fighter 6 and said more info is to be coming this summer.
Hmm.
And then they also dropped a trailer for the Capcom Fighting Collection, which is pretty cool because there's a lot of games on here that haven't had like too many modern re-releases at all.
Yeah.
So this collection's coming out June 24th of this year, and this was pretty amazing to hear. It will have rollback netcode, which is really, really good for a lot of competitive players and people who want to play the game online.
Mhm.
And so this collection will include the first Darkstalkers game. I think it's the first 3 actually. So Darkstalkers, Night Warriors, Vampire Savior, Vampire Hunter 2, Vampire Savior 2, Red Earth / Warzard, Cyberbots, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Street Fighter 2, and Super Gem Fighter Mini Max. So that's a good amount of games in that
That's
collection.
a really good
Good
amount of games.
Yeah, and they're gonna all have training modes. They're all gonna have online functionality. There's all gonna be like concept art for them and stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty cool to see.
It's very
And
interesting.
yeah,
it's cool to see a lot of games get brought back, and especially a lot of like these like sort of like B tier. I don't want to say B tier, but B tier fighting games. Stuff
yeah,
that, like they may have had a community, but not a huge community.
yeah. Like I know, I've heard of Darkstalkers before, right?
Yeah.
I've never played any of their games, but I know the one character Morgan is like it's like the most famous character from that series, and she's been featured in a
True.
bunch of the Marvel versus Capcom games before. She's usually a staple of those.
That's an interesting game to not be on this list. Now that we talk about it,
Licensing.
Marvel versus Capcom.
It's all probably licensing issues.
It probably is
Must be,
licensing
yeah.
issues.
I
but,
couldn't
like,
imagine how much that would probably be to bring back.
I would assume we will eventually see
Mm-hmm.
a re-release of them. 'Cause
Yeah.
those Marvel versus Capcom 3 was a massive game.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
talk
even
about-
Sorry, go on.
No, even like 2 was. I think every one of them has been massive, except
Mhm.
for Infinity was questionable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember I think it was the Evo just before like COVID. They said Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was going to be one of the games featured
Yeah,
there at Evo. So there's
I-
still people playing it, I guess, you know?
yeah. I mean,
So,
people love Marvel. People love Capcom.
mhm.
Put them together, and then how do you not? You do Marvel Infinity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You make a really bad pre-release product. a really bad pre-order bonus.
Yeah. So do you guys play fighting games at all? Do you play like Street Fighter or just any traditional fighter?
I've played Street Fighter. I played a lot. Like, some of my friends play a lot more than I do, so it's like
Mhm.
I'll pick it up and I'll play it with them.
Mhm.
I never really got into 5.
Mhm.
When Street Fighter 5 came out, I looked at it and just went, "There's so much microtransactions."
Mhm.
Let's look at the DLC for Street Fighter 5 and pray to God they don't do it for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was bad.
Mhm. Mhm.
A lot of staple characters ended up as DLC. Gilly was a DLC character.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Yeah.
Microtransactions just ruin the vibe.
Mhm.
Or too many microtransactions.
There's
Some
too
are
many.
some are totally.
Yeah, yeah. And there's just I couldn't name you everything, but I know a lot of people did have a lot of problems with 5. And they
Yeah.
did eventually come back and fix a lot of
Yeah.
issues from what I understand.
Hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see where Street Fighter 6 ends up finding itself when it first comes out. I think there's going to be a big push for esports on this title as
You think?
well.
I think so. I'd be
Yeah.
shocked if there wasn't.
Well, people were talking in terms of the logo design, which I guess we can talk about right after this. People
Yeah.
were saying the logo design looks very clean, simplistic, like a lot of esports titles are going for.
True. That's
Yeah.
true. I hadn't even thought about that when I originally looked at the logo, and I had many thoughts about the logo. To start things off, but
It's weird. It just doesn't look like Street Fighter.
it doesn't.
No. You know what it does look like? A stock image you can buy off Adobe for $80.
Yeah.
That's what it looks
Yeah.
like.
All right. What student made this? Not that there's anything wrong with students.
Yeah. So for those who don't
yeah,
know,
that's-
the image on the right is a stock photo you can buy off, or stock logo you can buy off of Adobe for $80. And man, does it not look like Capcom just bought it and tweaked it.
I don't know if we have the overlay image ready.
I
But-
don't know if we do. Yeah.
There's an overlay image that someone created where it's so similar that you can't say that these two things are not the same. Oh, my
Yeah.
camera's frozen. Frozen right there. It's hard to say that these two images are not the same thing. They're so similar.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
insane.
it could just be a coincidence. It really could. Right? But my God, does it look exactly
Even if it's
like
not a coincidence, I mean, we said it already. If you're coming up with a logo and it's a long-awaited game, I mean, how long have people been waiting for this? Like a really, really long time. And then we finally see the logo, and it's this.
Yeah,
It's
it
just so
doesn't look like
underwhelming,
Street Fighter.
right?
No,
They had the
yeah.
countdown. They had like this big wind up. We're all expecting it. It's this big drop, and then like that's the logo, and you're like,
Yeah, you know, because a lot of like every other Street Fighter logo has like been really nicely drawn, and yeah, it just doesn't look Street Fighter like you said. And yeah, I don't know. And okay, even if they didn't buy this stock image and just manipulated it, right?
Yeah.
It's still not a good look either
It's not.
way.
no. What I think when you're creating a logo, I mean, it goes without say that it's like a really, really important part of the design of whatever you're making, right? This is going to be like the forefront of whatever it is. When people see that logo, it doesn't scream fighter, let alone like the Street Fighter, right? Like it doesn't scream fighter game at all.
No.
It doesn't. In my opinion, it just again like they could have done a lot better. And when you look at the countdown, we talked about the countdown and how the vibe of the countdown was very much like this eerie vibe with like the smoke and everything. It made us
Mm-hmm.
think maybe Resident Evil was going to be the announcement, but then like that's the countdown, and then this is the logo like right after. So it goes from like this black, really kind of eerie look to it, and then it counts down to this pink and white, very bright, very cheery logo, right?
Well, so okay, so that's the stock image, right? The logo
Okay.
on the left is what was actually revealed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah. But you're still right. Like it's kind of a
I think it could have been better, honestly. I think
Yeah.
it could have.
yeah.
I think if you're talking Street Fighter, I think you can make it more fighter. You know what I mean?
And then also like now everyone's gonna remember this when they think of Street. This is
Well, and
everybody's
that's the funny part.
first memory of Street Fighter 6.
And that's the funny part
this.
is I was on Twitter and I was looking through. I literally am seeing more of this pink image than I am the actual logo.
It's the topic of
It's
the day,
all,
basically.
It's all over my Twitter, bro. Like,
Yeah.
swear to God, swear to God, I'm looking at it, I'm like, is this not the logo? Hold on. Yeah, it's all over my page, bro. It's all pink, and like that's what's surfacing right now. As opposed to like their actual logo doesn't fit.
You know what?
I don't like
I actually wonder. I'm just gonna look up Street Fighter 6 and go to
actually.
images and just see what comes up here.
I swear to God, the pink will come up first.
Okay, I think I was having some audio issues. Hopefully I'm fixed now.
Let's see.
A little bit lower.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? It doesn't come up until you scroll down a little bit. But it's still there.
It comes up the first one on mine, bro.
Really?
Street Fighter 6 logo. It's the first one.
That's
I just
wild.
searched up
is.
Street Fighter 6. Well, yeah,
Look
no,
up
you're
Street
right. If
Fighter
you search
6
up logo,
is the first one.
Yeah.
To the point where on the day that it came out, and up until this point, actually, I thought it was the pink.
wow.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good?
the black one is good. It's okay. I still think it could be better. But this pink is all over, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see
That's so bad.
how they recover from this.
How do you recover from that? What do you do? Ask people to stop sharing it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Make a new
Could you
logo.
You could make a new. Honestly, I think you're right on that point. Even the original, the black one that they made, isn't great.
Release the official
it could be
logo.
so
That's
much
what they have
better.
to do here.
Yeah.
Is they
Well,
have to
that's the
release the
question.
official logo.
Is that the official logo?
I don't think so. I
hope
don't think
not.
that's the official
Yeah,
logo.
Make it
It's
darker.
It seems very placeholdery.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So
Even this black one isn't dark enough to me. It's more of like a light gray. It's not black at all. Right? Let me look. It's light gray with white over top of it. I think you can make this so much darker than that. Why is the background not just like flat black?
Yeah.
Maybe this is actually just like the countdown stops and this is what shows up so that it fits like the theme of the website. Maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
And it's
Yeah.
maybe it's not their logo at all and we all just got bamboozled and this pink
We bamboozled. It's like it's not even Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
this pink Adobe stock image. It's this it's actually the same design.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
flipped colors.
Well, you know what? I guess we're just gonna have to wait till the summer this year, see if we get a new logo and see what else I guess they just have in store, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's all
Well-
I have to say. Dude, just like make it like fighter, please. Like if I look at it, I shouldn't be like, I mean, I see the S and the F and the octagon, whatever. It's fine.
I want to
but,
see
like,
my
make
reds.
I want to see the reds, bro. Like make it scream fighter, please.
Make it stream
Logos
Street
are
Fighter.
so
Where are my
important.
flames? Where's my
Where are the
reds and
fla-
oranges?
Where are all the cool things, bro? This is so. You're right. It's simple. It's clean. It's whatever. But like, I don't know. I think you can make it so much better.
Yeah. 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 Well, I'm done talking about logos now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bad logo. You
It's a
know,
bad
just
logo.
just to say the least.
Borderline. The pink one was better, and that's saying.
The pink one was better. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Well, we did talk about Steam Deck last week with the CAD files, and now we have something else to talk about on the Steam Deck. So, the Dolphin emulator group that is known for GameCube emulation and Wii emulation on the PC put a little picture on their Twitter the other day here. They put a picture of what appears to be a GameCube game running on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So somehow they've gotten their hands on a Steam Deck early, and it seems like they're already at, making a version of Dolphin for the Steam Deck.
I don't think this is going to end well for them. I'm
Really?
going to start off right off the bat. This is going to end very poorly for them. Nintendo's going to come after them.
Okay.
I think Nintendo. I think there's a difference between when it's on PC versus something that is very similar to the Switch.
Yes.
Very similar to the Switch. It's a very ballsy move.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the
idea. It isn't.
Yeah.
Like, we know that emulation is going to be such a big deal for the Steam Deck, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we're going to start seeing, like, of course, all like the classic like SNES, NES emulators. We're gonna see all the Nintendo emulators on there. We're gonna see all the PlayStation emulators on there at some point. I know there's definitely this big push to have just this ultimate portable gaming machine, right?
Oh, absolutely. And man, playing GameCube games and Wii games is hard. It's very hard. I think Nintendo might already be on the trigger of this. Like, the Switch was so revolutionary in how we handle handheld gaming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how Dolphin is gonna. Nintendo's already. Here's the thing with emulation. Nintendo, impossible. Nintendo hates it. Absolutely hate it. We all. If you remember what happened with Melee. When people tried to use Slippy to run Melee tournaments, because COVID, it didn't work. Nintendo shut it down hard.
Very hard.
Nintendo hates emulation.
And then when they do it themselves, they do such a crap job of it too. We saw that with like the Legend of Zelda games on Nintendo Switch Online, right? Like, there's big issues with the fog and stuff.
Yeah, I think they've repaired them at this point, but yeah,
yes,
they came out rough.
I believe so. Yeah.
They came out very rough, so it's hard to say what is going to happen there.
I think they'll get a version of it out for people to try.
I think so.
I don't think it'll be shut down, and if it did, regardless, there's going to be some sort of GameCube emulator at some point on the Steam
for sure.
Deck, right? And then from there, it's a question of I want to know performance and battery life too. Obviously, this is still in its very early stages. I don't know how much time they've actually had on the Steam Deck to develop it, right? And how far along they are, right? But it doesn't take too much to run GameCube games on a PC. GameCube emulation is actually one of the more easier things to emulate and get done right, as compared to if you compare something from the same generation, like PS2 emulation is still very, very.
I just kicked my camera.
Oh, bye, Eric.
I kicked my camera.
See you next time, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
PS2 emulation is still somewhat rough. It's predominantly there, but there's still a lot of audio issues, especially, are a big thing on PS2 emulation. But for the most part, you can play most GameCube games pretty much just like they are on a GameCube on Dolphin.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the thing of when is Nintendo going to launch the GameCube games to the Switch?
Yeah.
if that's close to the pipeline, Nintendo is going to strike this down faster than we think.
Well, maybe it even fast tracks it too. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If Nintendo is close to jumping on GameCube games being over to the Switch, and we're not missing a lot of the classics GameCube games, we're missing only a few, to be completely honest. We're seeing Strikers. Strikers is getting moved. We're getting a new Mario Strikers. We're missing the Legend of Zelda games. Those are big ones. We're missing Melee, which I think Nintendo will port. I think Nintendo will port that. I'm surprised they never have.
Yeah, I'm like even talking about Zelda there for a minute. I'm surprised they never ported the Wind Waker HD release to the Switch. Even
I think Wind Waker and Twilight Princess will be soon.
Yeah,
I think it's too early because we just had Skyward Sword come out. And Breath of the Wild 2 is pretty soon. It should be this year.
Yeah.
I think next year we'll see Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
I really hope so, because I really want to play through Wind Waker. I've never played through Wind Waker personally.
Wind Waker's great. I love it.
Yeah, and I've just been waiting for hopefully the HD version to come out on the Switch. So hopefully that's in the pipeline at some point. Yeah.
I think that the only one that I ever played was Twilight Princess. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Twilight Princess was great. I love Twilight
I
Princess.
played that so I feel like I played that so long ago.
It's such a different game. It's just
a
game.
I remember it's funny because I feel like I started with that one and then I like looked at the other ones and I was like, I don't really want to play those.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I did that. I did that with Skyward Sword. I started with Twilight Princess and then I looked at Skyward Sword and I went, this just looks worse. How does this look worse? What have we done here?
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite fun facts about Twilight Princess is the fact that because it both came out on the GameCube and the Wii.
Oh,
right?
it did. Yeah,
so,
it did.
So like I'm pretty sure canonically, Link is left-handed.
He is.
Right?
He's canonically left-handed.
He is left-handed, right? So when the Wii version came out, most people are right-handed. Right? So what they did was they completely mirrored the game for the Wii version. Everything is flipped.
It's weird that they had to completely mirror the game.
Yeah. So instead of just going into the files and just modifying what hand Link's holding his sword in, they just completely mirrored the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, like, again, first playing it on the Wii and then seeing a lot of people play it on GameCube, I'm like, wait, that's not right. Wait, that person should be going the other way to get to Kakariko. Oh God, what's happening here? It's so weird.
No. Yeah. And then let's just going back to like software, even as just a general conversation on the Steam Deck. What kind of custom software are we gonna see? Even right? I mean, emulators we know for a fact, right? But are we gonna see could we see video editing software? Let's just say, just to throw out a wild idea, right? Or video editing software.
You would drain the battery on that thing so fast with video editing software.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Right? But again, it'll be cool to see what people come up with other than emulators, right?
Yeah,
there's obviously going to be custom software scene for this.
Yeah, there's grounds there for sure.
Yeah, like that's the question of have they sent out development kits for, because I think it's a different system. You still have to send out a development kit to be like, how do I mod this correctly?
Yeah, I don't know how that works with it playing predominantly PC games.
Such, that's interesting.
Right? Yeah, I didn't even thought about that, truthfully.
I don't. Yeah. That's a really interesting question that I don't have the answer to.
Yeah. If only had a little insider scoop, right?
Yeah, just a little big.
Just be a little fly on the wall inside of Valve right now. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, other new cool technology. PS VR2 got unveiled yesterday, actually. Yeah. So it looks pretty cool. I like how it looks. It looks very clean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very clean.
very
The controllers look kind of silly. Not gonna lie.
I
They-
mean, maybe. I don't think so.
I kind of I like them being circular a little bit.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it kind of places. It gives you more idea of where your hands actually are.
Oh,
Right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big thing when you're flailing your arms around with VR.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
The one thing that I like, there's a lot of side bulk there, which is just a little weird. I don't think it'll be a huge factor, but obviously having that side bulk, you have to be careful more with your wall spacing
Mhm.
because there's more space for that to crash into
I'd rather,
something.
yeah, but I'd rather the ring bump into something than smack my hand on something.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
smacking your hand is the worst.
Yeah.
I've done it multiple times.
Yeah, no doubt.
I wonder if that's also going to help for like finger tracking as well. Maybe.
It might. know.
Maybe, but like in terms of sensors, you would want for finger track, you need to have the sensors in front, right? Because those sensors are behind your hand. You wouldn't be able to track
Yeah.
fingers
Yeah.
if the whole
It work-
if the main rig.
It definitely works in tangent with like the cameras that are going to be on front of it.
Yeah.
on
Oh,
front
for
of
sure.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
actually the entire layout is like very deliberate. Everything is like rounded. I
Mhm.
think that's very deliberate.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in the design document that they released, or just the official statement on it, they said that they wanted to help mimic the architecture with like how the PS5 is like very
Yeah.
smooth edge, the
Yes.
controller is very smooth edge.
It
They want
looks-
it to all look
yeah.
Yeah,
it's very clear that this is part of the PS5 family.
they planned
Oh,
it out that way.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
really smart.
And
Looks
honestly,
really nice.
those eye rests look really comfortable.
Yeah,
the
they
front
really
of it,
do.
It looks
Mhm.
like it's not gonna hurt to wear that.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
And they also talked about how there's going to be lens adjustment in there as well,
Yep.
Yeah,
which is
that's
really
huge.
nice. But the feature I wanted to just focus on here first was there's going to be a built-in motor in the headset itself for like feedback.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Built-in motor.
So if I'm playing a shooter, right?
Yeah.
Am I about to just get like if I get shot in the head, am I gonna feel that in the headset?
Oh, I would hate that. I'd hate that
Oh.
so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool in terms of like immersive technology, but like I don't
Yeah.
know how that actually looks or feels, right? I don't know. I'd be really interested to try it, even just like knowing that. I think that's cool.
Yeah. I really like Sony's or just PlayStation's whole vibe with this console generation about feedback, right?
Yeah.
Like the DualSense and its haptic feedback, which is it's really good. It's really cool to be playing a game and let's say you like are walking on grass, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to walk on snow, you can feel the difference in the vibration
That's
as
cool
you're
hell.
going across, right?
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then with the adaptive triggers, those are really, really cool. It made playing Resident Evil 8 a completely more immersive experience, right?
Adaptive triggers? What does that mean?
Yes. Okay, so here, let me grab a controller here real quick. So the L2 and R2 buttons have gears in them that you can tighten and loosen, right? On the fly. Yeah.
Okay.
So what you can do is, so the easiest example is with a bow, right? So obviously when you're shooting a bow, you pull it back and there's more tension as you pull it back, right?
Yeah.
You can mimic that on the trigger.
So like as you're like gradually getting down, it gets like harder.
It gets harder
like,
to
more
push the
tense?
trigger. Yes.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, and then even so like in Resident Evil, depending on what gun you use, the harder it is to pull on the trigger. So if you're using a sniper rifle, let's say, when you aim down the sights, it's a lot harder to pull on the aim down sight trigger because it's like, like you're mustering up the rifle to look, right? So it mimics that.
Whoa.
When you're shooting a pistol, it mimics So on like a handgun, right? The trigger, there's like a certain point when you pull it, it won't like there's a certain point where it's kind of like, okay, this is the point of no return. Like if you pull it any farther, it will fire. Like there's a noticeable what am I trying to say? There's noticeable tightness on an actual gun, right?
Yeah.
Pistol mimics the same thing on the controller as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So just seeing Sony go more in depth with this feedback system is really, really cool. There's even the 3D audio that they're pushing as well on their headsets and such. I don't own the Pulse headset that they've released officially. So, and when I've tried 3D audio, it's okay in my opinion right now.
Yeah.
I know there's definitely still going to be doing some work on it, and I know, if I remember correctly, I think Mark Cerny did talk about eventually being able to like analyze your own audio profile and stuff, right?
That's
so
interesting. That's
yeah, so you can, it would be custom tailored to your ears specifically.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
I think this like immersive technology is the future of gaming. Like 100%.
VR is definitely going to be taking over the gaming landscape.
Yeah.
Give it another 20 years, VR technology is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's the future for sure.
I'm not. I'm very like iffy on if I like vibrations or not. I think I would turn them off in my headset. I think that would bug me too much, especially in a shooter. I think
in a shooter, I feel like,
it would just be too much.
Me a headache.
Yeah, it would be too much.
Yeah. It's all fun until you have a headache while you're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's actually my fear with VR in general. It's like I get headaches pretty easily.
Yeah.
I feel like this, it being like right here and like all of the sensations, which are really cool technology pieces, but also like I feel like I'd get headaches.
So on that topic, what's your guys' experience with VR, if you've had any at all?
I have a headset and I played a decent bit.
What headset do you have?
I have the Vive 2.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure I have the Vive 2. It probably needs to be updated at this point. It's a little old. I like it. Man, I hate wires.
Yes.
My wires have like I need to get my wires fixed for it for sure. I don't know. It's interesting. VR is really fun. You need people to play it with. A lot of the best games are multiplayer. I've had I've played Blade and Sorcery a lot. And there are some good single player games. But there's a lot of games that I'm just like, man, I wish I had people to play this with and have fun in VR with.
Yeah.
Like that's the part I feel like I'm missing right now.
Okay.
I haven't played any VR games, honestly. Until they release League of Legends on VR, I guess I'll just wait. I'm just kidding. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh.
That'd be wild.
That'd be something else. Yeah. No, I've had friends who've had it, and I mean, like I already mentioned it. I feel like in the back of my mind, like all the time, I'm just like, that would give me a headache. Maybe I should just try it one day. I should just I don't know. Maybe I'll go to one of my.
Oh, I don't have a Vive. I have an Oculus. What am I talking about?
Oh, okay.
I have an Oculus. My brain. Yeah, no, I have an Oculus.
Is that better or worse?
It's different. I think the Oculus is cheaper.
Yeah, the Oculus is kind of, I would say it's more the start. It's definitely the starter into VR. I guess you could say Google Cardboard is like the starter to VR, but like actual like proper VR, Oculus is kind of a nice starting point.
I've heard
it's at a good price point.
Yeah.
So, just touching on my experience with VR, I don't own a headset, but my friend lent me his Steam one. Oh, what's the Steam one called again? I'm having a brain fart. Oh, Index, the Valve Index.
Yeah.
He lent me his Index. Yeah. Which I think most people would consider is pretty top of the line when it comes to VR at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I didn't beat it, but I played it through a lot of Half-Life Alyx.
I need to
And
play Half-Life Alyx.
that is the game to sell people VR on.
Yeah.
100%. It is the VR experience right now in this current time. Just the level of immersion and honestly just being able to pick something up and just juggle it, right? Like that was really cool. And just even from a graphics perspective as well, some VR games seem very like minimalistic in their graphics sometimes. And Half-Life Alyx feels very nice graphically. And FPS wise too. I never had any slowdowns. I mean, granted that's like PC dependent as well, right?
Yeah.
But that was really cool. My only thing with VR for me personally is I can't play it for so long. I get sick.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It is hard to play for a long time.
I like to stand up when I play VR, which is also part of the reason why I probably feel sick.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I'd get sick too. Like even just like past headaches, like I get like vertigo just on like my screen, let alone like right in front of my eyes, right?
So that was like a big limiting factor in me playing it, because every time I got done, I could only play for an hour at a time before I was like, I need to sit down because I feel like absolute crap right now.
Yeah.
That's how bad it got. And like you said, like I didn't get like a full-on headache, but yeah, I'm definitely starting to feel pressure up here.
Yeah,
right.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know if I've ever gotten a headache playing. I think maybe I have, and maybe I just don't realize. But I think there's just times where I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm just done for now. Or I'll smack my hand. I play a lot of Blade and Sorcery just because I like magic and swords. But there's a lot of times where I'll lose my location in the room, and next thing I know, bam, my hand is just slammed into my desk. Because I've gone down to strike something and carried through and just went.
You definitely need the space for it. And I played in my room here, which is not very big. But I had that issue too, where I ran into that dresser back there. I don't know how many times. Yeah. So,
that was the other thing about the PSVR design that they mentioned. They put a vent actually in the top for users, so that I don't know, it would like feel better and like less foggy or something. I don't know. It's kind of like a cool design.
I've never had that issue. But yeah,
I just feel like, I mean, I've never worn them, right? But like just reading through it, I was like, yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense. You know, if you're wearing that for like a long period of time, I don't know, it would be kind of just like nice to have some airflow, especially if they have like a motor in the back. I don't know if that's gonna like make things like, I don't know. I just think having like more airflow when something is like strapped to your face like that is a good idea.
Oh, 100%.
So that's a cool design as well.
Yeah. So just before we move on from this topic into our bigger topic of the day, what do we think about price for this? Where do we think this is going to fall for price?
Oh, man.
What was the price of the original?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Let me look at that right now.
Yeah, you can look at that. Okay. I think this is gonna come close to the cost of a PS5 itself, I would say.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
I think so. With the technology that they're putting into it, they even talked about they want to do like 4K stuff with it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I did read that,
And I think they're really starting to push VR, right? So, with that being said, I think, they're going to be putting the time into making a really solid product. If it's a solid product, it's going to be expensive.
So a PSVR with the Iron Man game goes for $449.99.
Okay.
And that's on Best Buy.
Okay. I see this being anywhere from 500 to 700, I think.
I'd put it at 600.
Yeah. Like 600 to 700 is probably a better estimate.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know yet. right?
I think we put it in, I want to say close to the price of the Quest 2. Maybe
Yeah,
a
how much is
little
a Quest 2 right
The
now?
Quest 2 is $459. I think it will
Okay.
be more than the Quest 2.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more. But I don't know.
It could be closer in price to maybe the digital version of the PS5.
Yeah.
I think somewhere in that price range, probably. So yeah, like the $600 price range.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. VR is not cheap.
It's not cheap. And that's one of the issues.
Yeah, and that's an issue. And then the technology is evolving so quickly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like a PC too, right? With graphics cards and CPUs and stuff, right? But you know, you buy it, and then in the next 4 years, the next big thing is already out, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like, man, I just dropped $700 on a VR headset not that long ago, and now they're telling me I need to buy this new one because it has, you know, I can smell in VR now. Finally,
I can smell. Yeah, like I probably need to upgrade my VR headset soon, but again, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And I can't even I was just looking, just out of curiosity. I can't even get replacement controllers anymore for the Rift.
Really?
Yeah, like Oculus has fully stopped supporting the Rift, which sucks.
Wow. Okay.
So like I can't get any new controllers for the Rift or anything. Which is dumb. It's really dumb.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because the Rift was the budget system for the longest time.
Yeah, and now the Quest has basically taken that spot.
Yeah.
For that. With especially Quest 2, with it being pretty much just wireless at this point.
Yeah,
now.
Which is super cool. I just don't I don't know how well the Quest 2 works.
Yeah, I don't have enough experience with one to tell you how it works.
And a lot of what I love is modding and stuff, and I don't know how easy that is on the Quest 2.
Oh, okay. I see.
I mod a lot of Blade and Sorcery because it's so much fun. There's so many fun things I can add. I can be a Jedi, of course. I want to kill people with lightsabers. Are you crazy? Of course I'm going to do that. So that's really a question for me.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we have our big topic now that we get to talk about: video game preservation. And so, why are we talking about this? Well, because Nintendo just dropped some news that the Wii U and 3DS eShop are going to be closing down. Yeah. So from their support page here, we have a few notes. As of late March 2023, it will no longer be possible to make purchases in Nintendo eShop for the Wii U system and the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. It will also no longer be possible to download free content, including game demos. Furthermore, as this date draws closer, related services will cease to function. As of May 23rd, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use a credit card to add funds to an account in the Nintendo eShop on the Wii U or 3DS. As of August 29th, 2022, it will be no longer possible to use a Nintendo eShop card to add funds to the Wii U or the 3DS. And you can still redeem download codes, it says, till March of 2023. And then even after late March 2023 and for the foreseeable future, it will still be possible to re-download games and DLC, receive software updates, and enjoy online play on the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS family of systems.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm not shocked.
I mean, the
Wii U's, yeah.
Yeah, well, just to start with the Wii, right? The Wii shop closed down in 2019, right? And I don't think you can even re-download stuff anymore.
I don't think you can. I think it's fully shut down at this point.
Yeah, I think they said, download whatever, and then that's going to be it. Yeah. It's just something we haven't gotten, or it's like a first for the gaming landscape, really, right?
Yeah.
Considering with the Wii, the PlayStation, which we'll touch on too, and like PS3 and Xbox 360, the first systems where we saw a digital storefront, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just completely new for the gaming landscape. And going back on PlayStation, we even saw PlayStation try and shut down the PS3 and Vita stores around this time last year. But they did end up going back on to that decision, and they're still up. But they did shut down the PSP storefront, which I think is fair. I don't think very many people were still buying on the PSP store, but there's definitely still people buying on the PS Vita and PS3 store. I mean, obviously enough for them to come out and say, hey, we heard you guys and we're going to keep that.
Right? Yeah. I think the big thing that's going to that people are going to be worried about is Virtual Console on the Switch isn't good. You look at the Wii U, they did a lot of Virtual Console, like a stupid amount of Virtual Console on the Wii and Wii U, and that doesn't exist on the Switch yet.
Yeah.
The Wii U was really great for being able to play DS games, surprisingly. There's a lot of DS games that I just never played that I could actually get on the Wii U. Like, what was one? Spirit Tracks.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. Never played the game. Cost so much to get a copy of it. But I could get it on the virtual eShop for the Wii U for a decent price.
Okay.
So I think that's a scary thing of especially after the Wii. I know it was a big issue when the Wii shop closed, of a lot of people going, yikes, there's a lot of games that aren't going to be playable anymore. This is going to be another situation of yikes, there's a lot of games we're losing to purchase correctly.
Yeah, and and so touching on video game preservation. I'm a big believer in hardware and software preservation. I believe you should be able to experience software on its original hardware as intended, or at the very least be able to play it on a modern system in some capacity. Right? I would hate to lose all this amazing software to the vault of time just because there's no way to access it, right?
Oh, for sure.
That's why I really respected Xbox for taking just doing backwards compatibility for the Xbox systems. I'm a 100% firm believer that there should always be backwards compatibility in a console. It's something I think should be standard, and I think there needs to be more appreciation for it. But yeah, just talking about Xbox, 533 Xbox 360 titles are playable on the Series X and One.
Yeah,
and then
that's great.
Yeah, and then there's 59 original Xbox titles available as well. Right? And they took the time to actually upscale them. Some of them you can even play in 4K, I'm pretty sure.
Jeez.
That's cool.
I think the original Red Dead you can play in 4K on Xbox One or Series X.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm a little disappointed in Sony and PlayStation and their refusal to just even really consider it. I mean, we have PS4 backwards compatibility, which is nice, right? It's good for someone like me, especially who's got still a big giant backlog of PS4 games that I gotta play. But where's the PS3, 2, or 1 backwards compatibility? I know 3 is really hard with the cell processor in it, but PS2 and PS1 emulation are not that hard to do, especially from a official company like Sony, right?
It's definitely possible.
Definitely possible.
I don't know. Okay. So, here, let me grab it real quick. So, they remade Medieval 1, right? Which was a PS1 game, right? Really good remake, by the way. But if you fully beat the game and get like everything in it, you get access to the original PS1 version on this game.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
like the company made their own emulator to emulate it on the PS4. So
cool.
it can be done. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no excuse, honestly.
Yeah. Like, I know I'm probably in like the very small minority when I say this, but if they dropped a PS5 that was an extra $100 but had all the components in it to do backwards compatibility, I would buy it.
Yeah.
I 100% would.
Yeah, I wish Nintendo didn't have to close down the servers. Because when you talk about backwards compatibility, the truth is it's not compatible for the Switch to do backwards to the Wii U or the 3DS.
No, completely different.
The Wii U, the Wii U and
change.
3DS were totally different monsters. The Wii U had 2 screens. The 3DS had 2 screens. So those games are going to be lost to time until a new HD version of it is made. And I guess going back to Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, maybe that's why we haven't seen them ported yet. They were made with the Wii U in mind, and they kind of use some of the Wii U functionalities for the map and everything, and those have to be reprogrammed to not work with the Wii U anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the greatest excuse. I think you could do it without the Wii U.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
But maybe that's why we haven't seen them. So I wish they didn't have to close down the stores, because I think it sucks to see the end of the DS era. The DS was great.
And
it
just
sucks that this is the final end of it.
Yeah, and just going back to what you said earlier, right? We're gonna lose a lot of these games.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be no way to get them ever again.
No, they will be gone
that's sad.
for a while.
It sucks.
Yeah, and then I guess it's a matter of you have to turn and then look at emulation at that point, I guess.
Yeah, and
right?
then Nintendo's really hard on emulation and
that's
good
the problem
emulators.
with companies, right? You know, they'll go after people, they're emulating and stuff like that. But if you just gave people official access to these products still, people would buy them.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And I think backwards compatibility on the PlayStation is gonna happen. I know, we even talked about on our first episode that there is a patent filed for PS1, 2, and 3 emulation, but I don't think that that's going to be, you plop the disc in and you can play it. I think sounds like it's going to be more for their PlayStation Now service, which, yeah.
That's a topic for another day.
Yeah, that's a whole conversation.
Whole another can of worms, as they say.
All right.
Yeah.
Like, just yeah. Like going back to what I originally said. It's just something we haven't really had to experience yet as gamers.
Yeah.
And
it'll be interesting to see what happens with it.
Yep.
Like, obviously, 30 years from now, I'm not going to be able to go on the PS3 network anymore. Like that's understandable, right? But for now, yeah, it's just a weird
time.
Weird time. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we have reached almost near the end of the podcast. So you know what that means. It's time for
the sweet stuff.
It's time for the sweet stuff.
Time for the sweets. It's my favorite part, bro.
Favorite part.
Oh, of course.
We're just gonna talk about League again.
Pardon? We're gonna talk about League again?
Yeah.
All right. Bet.
Bet.
All right.
Well, I don't know if League
Well, my
exactly
camera's
fits
There
in
we go.
this topic category.
What
today.
is the topic?
The topic
Whoa.
for today is our favorite underrated video games. So I guess we should start it by prefacing. What counts as an underrated video game is very subjective.
Yeah.
Very, very subjective.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess in my case, I would categorize an underrated video game as a game that does not get talked about a lot. maybe it should. Not all the time.
Mm.
Maybe hidden gem is a bit of a better term in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So, who wants to lead us off here?
I guess I'll lead
gentlemen?
us off. I don't think this is a underrated game, but I think it's a game that doesn't get talked about enough for the game it is.
Mm-hmm.
So my game is Okami HD.
Oh, I've always wanted to play Okami.
And
I've
there's the
always
issue,
wanted
is
to.
everyone says they want to play it, but they never do.
I have never seen that. Please explain it.
So Okami HD was created by a studio called Clover Studios, which I think now is a part of Capcom.
Yeah, I want to say Capcom published that game, right?
Yeah, so it went back. I think they are now officially a part of Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
And what it was after Twilight Princess came out, the creator of this game was like, I love this game so much, I want to make a game that's like heavily Legend of Zelda inspired. So this game came out. It plays like a Legend of Zelda game. It's very like, you get new powers, but it's very steeped in Japanese history.
Mm-hmm.
Every character has some hint of Japanese lore. So the main character is Amaterasu, who is known as the goddess of the sun.
Okay.
And you go through and you get these celestial brush techniques. So it's like you start off, your first ability is you get the power to create the sun. To bring back sunlight.
Okay.
You get powers like control water, control the wind. So each time you're getting these more like celestial godly powers. Because you had lost them all. I think that's how it starts. You lose all of your abilities. She lost the
Okay.
power of all the gods once you start the game. The music for the game is top notch. Just the imagery, it feels like you're in Japan.
Okay.
It's got such a nice art style.
Yeah.
And if you like Legend of Zelda games and these like adventure games, it's a great game because it is a
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda game. It's what it is.
Okay.
But with a Japanese texture over it.
Sounds dope.
I think you're selling me this pretty
It's-
easily right now. This sounds pretty dope.
Oh, it's such a good game. And it's a long game.
Really?
I've played through the game twice. Let me see what my time is on the game. Let me bring up my Steam.
Yeah. So is the HD really? Did that come out on PS4 as well, or?
Yes. So yeah, the game originally came out on. This is interesting. It came on the Wii and the PS2, I think.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
It came on the Wii and PS2, and then got re-released a few years ago. And there have been rumors that we're gonna get a sequel, like an official sequel. God, I want an official sequel so
Ooh.
badly.
Spicy.
So I've played through the game, I think 1.5 times on the
Mhm.
HD version, and I have 77 hours in the game.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like the game is long.
I did
And
not
it's-
expect that.
Yeah, but it's a very fun game.
Okay.
And
okay.
yeah, it's a fun game. The artwork is just, it's so perfect.
Imagery is such a big deal.
Yeah, the imagery of the game is, it's so amazing. I love it so much.
Nice.
And the HD
nice.
version really just makes everything pop just that slight bit more.
So crispy.
Very crispy, very crispy.
Very crispy. Nice.
So that's my underrated game of games that need to be talked more about.
All right, I'll talk on mine, and then we'll let Ethan finish us off. Speaking of imagery and how important it is, the underrated game I chose is called Book of Travels,
Book of Travels.
Uh,
I have
Book
not
of
heard of
Travels. I
this.
think I've heard of that.
and I didn't think either of you would, and you should because it's amazing. It was made by a little company called Might and Delight. They've only made one other game aside from this one, very small indie game company.
Okay.
The game plays as like a role play free roam game, where you just
Oh.
like travel around the world. You have different classes. You basically just explore, and you collect whatever. You collect new stuff like any other role play free roam game. You venture into caves, that sort of thing. It's very, very artistic. Everything in the background, everything on the screen was hand painted. So it's like very, very,
Oh.
it's very, very artistic. Every single background scene, just like traveling around, it's just like, man, I could just like take a picture of this,
Yeah.
and slap it on my wall, and it would look great, you know.
Mhm.
That could just
So
be
I
my
think that
wall.
was like a really cool selling point when I first heard about the game, and my family first heard about the game. It was like, wow, like everything in the background is hand painted. So that was really, really cool. Super artistic. The music, again, part of all of that imagery and everything, is like really, really nice. So highly suggest. When it first came out, it was, because it's like it's a small indie company. They had a whole bunch of issues, obviously, when it first released, as most games do. But since then, they fixed a lot of those things. It just came out this year, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. Highly suggest.
Cool.
Whoa, interesting.
Awesome.
Definitely adding it to my wish list for when it goes on sale.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, I got 3 games here in front of me. So I guess I'll start it off with this bad boy right here. Cold Fear. So I got this game for $2 at EB Games back in the day. $2 dues.
Good old toonie.
Yeah, and so basically it takes place on a ship. So you play as a Coast Guard guy, and you get called out to investigate this Russian ship, right? And you get on it, and surprise, surprise, there's zombies.
Whoa.
Oh,
And,
no way.
Zombies, right? Yeah, so it was really cool and unique because there's not very many games that take place on a ship like that, and that like horror games that
That's
take
actually
place
really
on
cool.
a ship, right? And what was also really cool was when you were out on the ship, you would rock side to side, and if you ran, there was a stability meter that would slowly go down, and if you ran for too long, you would lose your footing, and you would slip and like fall to the side of the ship that it was rocking towards.
that's
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And it's not, is it an amazing game? No, it's not like, I'm not telling you go out and buy this thing immediately, right? But it was one of those games where like, $2, I didn't have anything to play at the time, and it's very Resident Evil 4-esque in a way, just from the way it plays in the third person, right? I definitely think that's what they were trying to capitalize on at the time, right? Is the story good? It's meh. It's serviceable, right? Yeah. So anyway, that was my first one there. Second one here, the King Kong video game.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like,
wow.
like
That
no,
just
like,
unlocked a core memory. What?
like listen,
Whoa.
like honestly, this is one of the better movie licensed games that is out there and available. It's really cool because you flip-flop between, I don't know, have you guys seen the King Kong movie at all, the Peter Jackson one?
I don't think so. I'm pretty bad at watching movies.
What year did that come out?
That was like 2000, oh my god, 2006, 7 maybe.
So yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the main characters is Jack in that game. So you flip-flop between playing either Jack or King Kong. So when you're playing as King Kong, it's a third-person beat 'em up style of game. And when you play as Jack, it's a first-person shooter. And what was really unique about when you're playing as Jack is there's no HUD in the game.
Oh.
You can enable like an ammo counter in the settings if you want, but by default it's not enabled. So it's very immersive when you're playing through it. And one of the cool things is, so with no HUD, there's no ammo, right? So the way you would check your ammo is you would hit the reload button, and then Jack would be like, okay, I got a couple magazines left. And then when you're running low on ammo, he'd be like, I'm running low on ammo. I need a new gun.
I need a new gun.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna get rid of no new bullets, just a new gun completely.
Well, you can. Well, what was also cool was if your teammates had a gun, you could look at them and like you'd shout their name and they'd throw their gun to you, and you get a new gun.
Give me your gun. This one's bad.
And there was always like these bone piles around on the levels too, and you could pick up like a bone and use it as like a spear.
Damn.
Yeah, and the fire in that game was really, really cool. Just it looked so realistic for the time, and the way it burned was really realistic. Probably the best fire I had seen in a game until that point. Yeah. But yeah, like honestly though, like one of the one of the best licensed video game movies of all time. I will put that on record in my personal opinion. Yeah. So that's my other underrated game. And then as an underrated series, so I don't know if this could be classified as underrated or not, and I'll explain why here in a second. But the original Onimusha trilogy on the PS2. So for those who don't know what Onimusha is, this is another Capcom series. And if I basically had to give you a quick explanation, imagine Resident Evil, but in feudal Japan, you're playing a samurai, and instead of zombies, it's demons that you're fighting.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the first two games are straight tank control style, like classic RE control style, but it's a little more actiony. Not too much more actiony, but the combat is definitely faster paced, right? You're not like standing in one spot and like, slowly shooting to take out a zombie. Like you're actually in their face. You have different swords you can swap between that have different abilities. When you slay enemies, they drop like soul orbs, and you have this gauntlet on you that gives you like the power to slay demons. And so you absorb the souls in this gauntlet, and then you can upgrade the swords that you get. There's like a fire sword, there's a fire, electric, and earth sword, and then there's an ultimate sword that you can unlock through secret means.
the ultimate sword.
Yeah. But it plays just like an RE game. You're exploring. Literally, the first game you're exploring like a big Japanese mansion, and you're going around finding puzzles, finding health items. Right, very classic RE style gameplay. And then the third one changed it up and went like fully 3D for the movement, and is a little more like a watered down Devil May Cry. I basically would describe it as.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've beaten 1, I've beaten 3, but I've never beaten 2. I got very far in 2, but I never beat it. And hey, maybe if the PS5 could play PS2 games, maybe I'd finally beat it. Maybe I'd finally beat it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And so the reason I say this could or could not be considered underrated, because I know people know about it, so much to the point the first game got re-released on the PS4. So
yeah,
right, it could
I would still say it's underrated.
Still say it's
Yeah.
underrated.
Yeah. I was really hoping that I don't have the sales numbers on how well the re-release did, but I was really hoping that they might do the trilogy if this one did well enough.
Yeah.
But that never ended up happening. But it's cool to see that this even got some attention.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see what games, like what random games just like, hey, do you remember this game? You didn't. Well, now you do.
Yeah, now you do.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like Nintendo does that a lot. It's like, do you remember this classic game you definitely played? No? What do you mean? Too bad, here it is.
Yeah. honestly. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, I think that is going to do it for today. So, once again, everybody, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We're going to be back here again next Wednesday, same time, 7 p.m. to do it all again. Until then, game on, stay beautiful, and cheers, everyone.
Cheers.